what I was going to say. If you're down at the coast, you can hear the surf. So that's one of the sounds. And then as you come up this way, you can come through some farm country and you can hear a tractor. If you listen real carefully, you might could hear a plow that's being pulled by a mule. And then if you come on up a little further, you can get to here and you can smell tobacco. and if you get close to the tobacco buildings, you can probably hear a little equipment working in there. You can go further west, you can get more industry and hear industrial sounds. And I guess if you get all the way to the mountains, you can just sit and listen and hear nothing and love it.
Hi, welcome to the Public Art as Public Health Moving Messages of Dementia Inclusion presentation. My name is Sanjana Jha. I'm a rising junior at Duke majoring in neuroscience with a minor in global health and dance. I'm going to popcorn to our next student, researcher, Arthi.
Thanks, Sanjana. My name is Arthi. I am a second-year Master's of Science in Global Health candidate at Duke and a recent undergrad alum who majored in biology and global health. And now I'll popcorn it to Olivia.
Hi, my name is Olivia, and I'm a rising junior at Duke. I'm studying evolutionary anthropology with minors in chemistry and religious studies. And with that, I think Arthi will kick us off talking about our presentation.
Yes, so just as an intro to our project, about 6 million individuals in the United States live with dementia. Over 93% are elders, 65 plus, and these totals are slated to double by the year 2050. So on that note, we applied an arts-based approach to dementia education, activism, and inclusion. Our final product is a digital workbook that aims to build a community-wide understanding of dementia as a disease of humanity, as more than the often biomedical misconceptions and assumptions that are placed on persons with dementia. Contributions over the past year from persons living with dementia and their care partners in Durham have inspired all of the artistic offerings in this workbook. Overall, our workbook serves to function as a prototype and pitch for future development for Dementia Inclusive Durham and Dementia Inclusive Inc.
Our starting point for the Story Plus project was getting a baseline of everybody's education level on dementia and dementia inclusion. We first watched a video series called Domains of Wellbeing by Al Powers, which created a baseline for these Jamboards. So on the left, one big idea that we got from the video series was that dementia is a shift in perspectives. It is not an inability to perform, but just a shift. In addition, another idea was the emphasis on life and living.
The next step was to go through the transcripts from creative engagement sessions. So one way that we can engage with persons with dementia is through creative methods. Our project worked with a methodology of interaction called time slips. And time slips methods ask beautiful questions, which are open-ended questions that eliminate any dependency on memory. So for example, a beautiful question might be, what is the most beautiful sound in the world? Beautiful question sessions can be done with people of all ages and cognitive abilities. And we had access to a large archive of transcripts from these sessions that were facilitated by Duke students who took a service learning course with our PI, Dr. Wilbur, this past year. We also had the opportunity to sit in on a session with participants from Duke Dementia Family Support. And in reading these transcripts, we learned a lot about the lived experiences of persons with dementia. And then we used these transcripts to inspire our own art making.
We each applied information from both the public health archive that Sanjana described and the creative engagement Beautiful Questions archive that Olivia just talked about to multiple arts-based mediums, including visual art, poetry, audio, and movement as different sections of the workbook based on each of our skills and prior experience. On the left, you can see the order of the verses or sections of the workbook that are organized by the contributions, which you can see on the right with Olivia, Sanjana, myself, Dr. Wilbur, and Brittany Green. Each day, we checked in as a team to share our progress and see how we could each help to address the needs of other team members. On the following slides, Sanjana, Olivia, and I will share components of each of our sections of the workbook slides.
Coming from a background with both neuroscience and dance, I hope through this project to incorporate the ideas of imagination, not only through my experiences at Duke, but also through dementia education. I created this poem as an offering to those who are interested in learning about dementia inclusion in order to inspire the idea of creativity in every single person. The poem goes, "As you open your eyes to the world that you see, and infinite possibilities for the things that can be, all the magic and wonders that your incredible mind keeps." I hope this poem will serve as an opportunity for you to reflect on imagination, your personal imagination, and the imagination in the dementia community.
A few weeks ago, we also had the opportunity to sit in on a beautiful question session with participants from Duke Dementia Family Support. And the questions were all about the sensory experiences of living in Durham in North Carolina. So something like, what does North Carolina sound or smell like? And we got all kinds of answers from our participants. And to thank them for letting us observe their session, we created an interactive map as a creative gift, including some of the sights, smells, and tastes of North Carolina. And then we were also able to include this in the workbook as an example of some of the creative outcomes that can be inspired by a Beautiful Questions session.
Another motif that we are sharing in our workbook is that of the brain of a person with dementia as a garden, with different thoughts and ideas spilling out of it as the inspiration for different aspects of the slides. The quotes and responses you can see on the post-its on this slide are from the transcripts of creative engagement sessions over the past year as responses to Beautiful Questions. They are organized in terms of what persons with dementia are feeling, doing, seeing and hearing, and thinking. Things like dumpster diving, feeling at peace, and looking at birds outside. These all help to illuminate the perspective of living with dementia as more than merely the misconceptions that exist about the condition.
So ultimately, we hope that our work on this project will lead to creating more inclusive spaces and community settings for persons with dementia. We want this workbook to be an accessible space that moves and inspires people to learn more about radical inclusion, disability justice, and new approaches to dementia care. And we hope that you all get a chance to look through this workbook. We'll put the link in the chat. And we hope that you leave it feeling interested in learning more about how to make Durham a dementia-friendly community. So thank you so much for listening.
What do you say?
That's a hard question.
Even if a person doesn't know what dementia is or they haven't experienced it, that if they're talking or trying to communicate with a person who has memory issues, that they're not understanding, that they just hear them out and just kind of work with them or communicate with them the best they can, because it's not always easy. I mean, in dealing with my mom, you know, she may come tell me something and it may not even make sense to me, but it's making sense to her, and I have to work with her where she's at.